Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Bloody Good Time. I'm Robbie.
And I'm Shane.
And this is our podcast where we talk about, whatever. Mostly horror stuff, though. Yeah?
Yeah. I'd say mainly horror.
Is that accurate?
Yeah.
But sometimes we also talk about other stuff, like actors we like that died, and other stuff that we've been watching.
Which apparently is going to be becoming a recurring thing on
yeah,
the show.
Freaking.
Really is just
I think
bummer.
I was thinking about it earlier today, and I think maybe the rule of threes is gone.
Yeah.
It just seems to have been a continuous stream of celebrity deaths for the last year and a half.
Is it a cover-up?
I don't know, man. It's certainly extremely sad and exhausting.
Yes.
Bill Paxton died 2 days ago. As of this recording.
Oh, okay.
It's like a 32-hour away thing.
Yes.
And Bill Paxton, first of all, he was 61.
He was not that old.
He was a young man. He died from surgery complications, so it wasn't even like a natural cause. Like, this sucks, man.
It's a fucking bummer.
Bill Paxton is an actor that has been in he co-starred in my all-time favorite movie, Aliens. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
He was brilliant, and this stinks. He was in a lot of good stuff recently too. He was in Edge of Tomorrow, which I loved. What else was he in recently? He was in Nightcrawler.
Yes. He was fucking great in Nightcrawler.
He's great in Nightcrawler.
He played a villain recently on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, I'm seeing that here on his IMDb. How was he on that?
Oh, he was great.
Of course he was.
He was
I think the central character on Big Love, which is a fairly popular program.
Yes. I never watched it, but my mom did.
He was in Frailty, which is a fantastic movie.
Yes. One of my all-time favorite horror comedy movies, Club Dread.
Yes.
Have you seen Club Dread?
Yes.
Son of a bitch.
He was in Titanic, which is a movie that I sort of like.
He's in this little movie called Twister.
He was in this little movie called Twister. Twister's a fucking classic, and I don't care what anybody says.
Twister's insane.
I love that movie. He was in Apollo 13 as Fred Hayes. He was in True Lies. He played Morgan Earp in Tombstone, alongside Kurt Russell, who we're gonna be talking about later. He was in Predator 2. My God.
They said he was the only person to get killed by an alien, a predator, and
a Terminator. Which Terminator was he in?
I think he was in Salvation.
Was he in Salvation?
I don't know.
Terminator. No, he was in the first Terminator movie.
Oh shit, he was.
I didn't even realize that. So that's obviously why James Cameron put him in Aliens, because he worked with him before. You know, one of my all-time favorite roles of his, obviously, is Hudson in Aliens. I think he's fucking hilarious in that movie. Has some of the best lines in the whole movie. And his delivery, I think, is what makes that movie so charming.
Come on, man.
It's game over, man.
It's game over, man.
Or when Ripley is like, I think we should take off and nuke the whole site from orbit. Fucking A, man. He's so great. Don't look at me, man. I only work here. So yeah, rest in peace, Bill. Jeez.
Yes, and to Bill's family, we're very sorry that you lost such a great person.
I can't imagine.
Ugh.
Apparently, he's in a Training Day TV show.
Yes.
Is that?
I'm not sure if it got canceled or not, but.
Well, anyway, enough about the late great Bill Paxton.
Yes.
Do you have anything else you want to mention before we get into the sort of the subjects of this week?
What do you mean?
Like news or?
Oh, you're dumb.
No.
Why did you just want to talk about it? You don't want to talk. Do you want to talk about it, or do you not want to talk about it?
Talk about what?
Talk about that stupid prequel video.
Oh yeah, no, I forgot about that.
The random.
The last Alien Covenant, The Last Supper.
It came on during an episode of Legion.
Yeah. Have you been watching that?
Nope.
I hear it's really good.
I know, which sucks. I think we've stopped watching like half of the shows that we normally watch. Like I stopped watching Lucifer. I stopped watching.
I can't blame you there.
I stopped watching Arrow for various reasons.
Yeah, man, I didn't think that would ever happen.
Did.
Arrow finally lost you, huh?
Dude, I don't know. Like, there's a bad taste in my mouth.
For all that Black Canary nonsense.
All the Black Canary nonsense. Like, it just screams of just something fucking went wrong. But
just somebody's being an idiot. Yeah. So they released a prologue video, which I'm assuming this is probably in the first actual like 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be in the movie
for Alien Covenant, and it's just a scene with a bunch of characters like eating together, and that's really it.
It's called The Last Supper.
Yeah, Alien Covenant The Last Supper.
Yeah.
And it's like whatever.
Yeah,
James Franco's in it.
It's really just an introduction of the characters, and it's an introduction of James Franco.
Yeah, it reminds you that James Franco's in this movie and has not been promoted as such in any way, shape, or form. I don't know how I feel about that movie. I'm gonna give it a chance. Maybe it'll be good, or maybe Catherine Waterston's character will be related to Ripley, in which case it will be bad. Hey, I finished watching Santa Clarita Diet. So we should talk about Santa Clarita Diet.
Should we?
Should we not?
Should we? Should we really?
Do you not want to?
No. I feel like we've just been promising everybody for the past couple weeks.
No, it's whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're definitely not the most punctual crew. I mean, at least I'm not. Yeah. I definitely told you that I would watch Bone Tomahawk and do this on Thursday, and then I was like, what?
Thursday?
Do what? When? Now?
Who?
Anyway, so in the meantime, I did marathon all of Santa Clarita Diet on Netflix, and I gotta say, I friggin' love that show.
It was hilarious.
It's very funny, and it's really silly, and it really leans into its silliness, and it really owns it, and I friggin' dig it, man.
Yeah, I really hope they do a second season.
I'm sure they will. I think it's been fairly popular. I love that the episodes are all a half hour long.
Yeah, I blasted through the first season.
Yeah, Timothy Olyphant is hilarious.
I never thought that I could see Timothy Olyphant as a stoner dad.
and much less like the comic relief of a show already filled with great comic relief.
Yeah. He was my favorite.
Yeah, the dialogue is so snappy and quick on this show, and his timing is fantastic.
Yeah. And
his facial expressions as this befuddled when Drew Barrymore's character Sheila is like, I don't know, this isn't so bad, maybe I should just stay this way, and his the beat and then the totally unchanging expression on his face as he goes, you eat people. One of the funniest moments on the whole show. Anyway, for those who don't know, Santa Clarita Diet is a Netflix show starring Drew Barrymore and Timothy Olyphant and some other people, I'm sure, about a family in Santa Clarita, California, which might be a made-up place. Is it a real place?
I don't think so.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I think maybe it is. I think it's a real place. Anyway, they're in Los Angeles, basically, in suburban Los Angeles, and the wife wakes up one day and she craves the taste of human flesh. I'm skipping it for brevity.
You don't want to talk about that scene?
No, I'm going to. I'm just trying to sum it up for people. Basically, she one day wants to eat people, and also she is undead and can't die. But she's not like your standard zombie.
No, she's more like
she's more like an eye zombie / warm bodies kind of nice zombie.
Yeah.
Who can think for herself, but she does want to eat people. She can only eat people. And her and her family have to kind of figure out how to deal with this. And it's very silly. And it also subverts expectations a lot. Nothing really goes quite the way you think it's going to go.
No.
With Dan, when he found out, and he tries to enlist them as assassins. Or when Loki...
I honestly thought that was the greatest shit ever.
And then when...
Oh yeah, you're going to just kill all the people that I can't catch.
Yeah. When Loki gets the virus or whatever, and he, instead of becoming a scary maniac who's going to chase after them, becomes an adorable, indie cafe musician, because what's great about this zombie virus is it, removes all inhibition, and you just do whatever you want, whatever's in your heart.
which would be just great.
Yeah.
Probably not for me, but
because you're already doing what you love, working in a grocery store.
Yep, working from midnight to 8:30 in the morning.
It's fantastic. It's so much fun.
That's why I got up at 11 o'clock on my day off, and then fell asleep at 3, and then woke up at fucking.
Yeah, Jesus. This show reminds me a lot of Dexter, but in a good way. It's got a lot of those same kind of sensibilities of like painting this sort of insane, macabre, like morbid situation in a really funny light.
Yes.
It's very lighthearted, but it's also really gory and crazy.
Very, very gory. Very. It's got some gross moments, guys.
Yeah, it's got some really gross moments.
It's got some moments that you're just.
The puking,
man.
The puking, one of my, like, tickle spots in my brain is puking. So I was laughing heartily at that, but I can imagine someone being really grossed out by it.
Oh, Sierra was watching during that time. that was the best.
I'm assuming she's not a fan.
She turned away just a bit.
That makes sense.
No, I think she liked the show, but she just... she can't do grossness.
But yeah, I highly recommend it. One of my favorite episodes was the one where, what's his name? What's Timothy Olyphant's character's name? Joel. Joel has that like long, heartfelt conversation with the drug dealer in the second or third episodes.
Dude, when they go to kill him and he ends up smoking a joint with him and like becoming his best friend.
Yeah,
like, that was such a fucking hilarious. I'd say that my favorite moment is when Joel and what's her name, Abby, the daughter, when they go out to that like up to that mountain, and they were they just they both just finally like freak out about the realization that their mom is fucking eating people.
Yeah.
And they're just like, it's so fucking weird. Are you fucking serious? This is so fucking weird. Like, it was such a human moment. Like, I feel like that would really be how anyone would fucking be.
Yeah.
In that universe. It's just like, Jesus.
Yeah, that was
Jesus
another great
Christ.
moment. There's like some really genuinely funny stuff on this show.
Yes.
And I didn't really expect that. And I appreciated it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, so if you're looking for something fun and wacky and cool to watch, and it's short and it's like easy to digest and different, go on Netflix and check out the Santa Clarita Diet.
That's Clarita Diet.
Classic theme song.
Classic theme song.
Oh, I also really love the soundtrack. It's like goofy, but kind of like Addams Family, like the.
It's very Addams Family.
The like deep violins and stuff. It's very sort of fun. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, dude.
Yes, dude.
Oh,
yes.
Just a little bit of news, or not really news. Get Out won the weekend at the box office.
Yes, I'm going to see that this week for Two Guys Watch.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
So I know you're about to recommend it for this.
You can't do that.
I wanted to get out in front of it.
You can't take horror movies away from our podcast.
Well, it's also going to be a Lego Batman episode, so it's going to be kind of splitting the difference.
What kind of an episode is that?
We just do whatever we want on it.
Just do whatever. We're doing Lego Batman and Get Out.
Well, I was thinking since I kind of overlooked that you said this last week, but you've never seen the original Fright Night?
Yeah, no.
Do you want to do that? Do you want to do one neither of us have seen? Or do you want to do something else?
Yeah,
do you have something else
I'm
in mind?
Down.
Yeah?
No, I mean, I have like 15 movies in mind.
What's another one?
I kind of wanted to do Club Dread just for Bill Paxton, or we could have done Frailty or Get Out, but you know, whatever.
You snooze, you lose, pal.
Fucking piece of shit.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Being torn between two worlds.
What a dick. I'm such an asshole. I'm such an asshole. To everybody else listening, which is like the 3 people, thank you again, Robbie's mom, for listening to us.
Love you, Mom.
Love you, Ma.
So, what do
at least
you?
Your mom listens. My mom doesn't listen.
What do you want to do? Do you want to do Fright Night?
Yeah, let's do Fright Night.
Let's do Fright Night. I hear it's a classic. It's a cult. It's a cult hit.
Because it's weird. Because I've seen the remake, and
You've seen the remake?
Yeah, I saw the remake, and I've seen the sequel.
I didn't know there was a sequel.
Oh yeah, it's bad. Don't.
Excuse me.
You don't want to. You just don't want.
All right. Well, we'll do the original next week.
All right. So
this week,
let's get into the main course.
Oh
my god, dude.
So this week we watched a little movie called Bone Tomahawk, which you can find on Amazon Prime Instant Watch if you have that. Other than that, you might have to do some digging. It's directed by a guy named S. Craig Zahler.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it.
He also wrote it. It is a horror western from 2015, which I've been waiting 2 years now to watch.
It's hilarious. I honestly had no idea this movie had gotten made.
When did you watch it?
I watched it like a year ago.
Oh, okay.
I was just up one night looking through movies to rent on Xbox Live, and then saw this movie, and I was like, fucking Kurt Russell.
Fucking Kurt Russell.
What is this? So I looked at the trailer for it. I was like, the trailer doesn't give that much away for it.
The trailer is a good trailer.
Yeah. So
I like it.
I was like, okay, I'm interested. So I watched it, and within like the first fucking 15 minutes, I was like, all right, I'm fucking in this shit.
Well, it gets you with that first scene. If you don't know, Bone Tomahawk it's about a little town called Bright Hope in the late 1890s, I believe.
Yes.
Where basically there's an indigenous tribe somewhere around this little American town. So they kidnap someone, and our main crew has to go rescue this someone.
Yeah, so
the main crew comprised of Kurt Russell, Patrick Wilson, Matthew Fox, and Richard Jenkins. Yeah.
Anything else?
It's a western. Cowboys. What were you gonna say?
The David Arquette's character. It says that he like it briefly mentions in the movie that he traveled or he walked like 3 days to get to the town.
Yeah.
So it is a bit of ways away, because I'm sure he didn't really stop too much after what he saw.
Sure, yeah. But apparently he was followed.
Yeah, so basically what happened was he desecrated their Indian burial ground, which is, as everyone knows, it's a big no-no in scary movies to fucking desecrate Indian burial grounds. So wait,
do you want to do spoilers? Right away?
Well, that's not really a spoiler.
Who does Sean Young play?
I think the wife?
No. Who's she playing this?
She plays the wife of Kurt Russell.
False.
No?
Very false. Who does she play?
You're false.
Sean Young.
I am false.
So yeah, the whole she plays someone named Mrs. The mayor's wife. Anyway.
Who?
The mayor's wife. Remember when the mayor comes into the tavern?
Dude that was in there for like 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, basically David Arquette is a traveling brigand, and he and his friend, played by Sid Haig. Yeah, Sid Haig is in this movie. They get hunted by some Native Americans who are mad about some desecration happening.
Yes.
And so David Arquette flees to a town called Bright Hope, but he gets followed, and they take a lady and a guy. And
they take a lady and the deputy.
Yeah. And Kurt Russell, the Sheriff Hunt, leads a crew to go find the lady, who is the wife of Patrick Wilson's character, Arthur O'Dwyer. And Matthew Fox also comes along because he's really good at killing people.
He's good at killing Indians.
Yeah, he's killed a lot of Indians.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. There's gonna be some. It's gonna feel a little racist.
There's actually a lot of racism in this movie.
There's a whole lot of racism in this movie.
The movie also might be a little racist. Like,
it might be. S. Craig Zahler may or may not dislike Indians.
Yeah. And then Richard Jenkins plays Kurt Russell's deputy, Chicory.
He plays the backup deputy.
And I freaking love him.
Yeah, douche.
I love Richard Jenkins.
He's the best.
I mean, he plays the deputy. He plays the only operating deputy in the whole movie.
It's because the other deputy's captured. Shut up. So what'd you think of the movie as a whole, Robbie?
I loved it.
It was so good.
It's so great. And, like, utterly terrifying.
Oh,
it is fully terrifying.
The last 45 minutes is just...
It's incredible. And, like, it's gut-wrenching and disgusting and, like, nerve-wracking. Oh, so good. And awful. Like, it was so hard to watch. You know, like, I wasn't, like, grossed out, but, like, it was so grounded and realistic that it felt very real.
I definitely know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I just want to go over some of the death scenes. So the first big one, I thought, because, I mean, you don't really see what happens to, spoiler alert, you don't see what happens to Sid Haig.
He gets his guts ripped out while he's standing up.
Yeah, I mean, but like,
it's in the distance.
Yeah, he's got his back turned to you, and it's in the distance, so you don't really see it.
Yeah.
The first one that you really see is the fucking the stable hand, little black boy.
He's like disemboweled, and
he gets disemboweled. Arrow goes through his head. And then he gets like ripped into this fucking stable, and I was like, oh, that's very violent. That's
pretty gruesome deaths in this movie. It is sort of a slow burn. You know, it takes a while, but you know, it builds that tension. It develops these characters who are played by good actors doing their job well.
The one thing I've learned, if you're a man and you're alone, there's a good chance that if you come across other people, they're just going to shoot the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter who you are.
I overall really love this movie. Do you want to kind of go over the cast? Or do you want to keep running through the story?
I just want to go through the deaths, really.
Yeah, go for it.
That's really all I care about. It's just the main deaths. All right, I really just want to talk about the end.
Well, first, I just want to say I love Richard Jenkins in this movie.
I love Richard Jenkins. I love Kurt Russell.
Like, Richard Jenkins, period, is just great. Patrick Wilson leaves a little to be desired. I don't really care for him. Kurt Russell is he's probably, like, my number 2 favorite, like, movie hero. I mean, you got Jack Burton, you got Snake Plissken, you got that guy from The Thing, you got Wyatt Earp. I love Kurt Russell, one of my all-time favorites. And watching him do what he does best is just a fucking pleasure. And I'm also a gigantic Matthew Fox fan. And I felt like he really did a great job in this movie.
He did such a great job. Like, I couldn't tell if I hated him or loved him throughout the movie.
He's an interesting character. Bruder is like pretty scary, but like also like kind of lovable and cool.
Yeah.
And like also really unlikable.
He's cool, but he looks like he'll like try to rape your wife a little bit.
Matthew Fox does like the whole manic kind of scary thing really well. I know you haven't watched Lost, but he really runs the gamut of all the possible emotions you can go through as a human being on that show. And I'm like a lifelong fan of his.
Yeah, Michael Fox is...
Everything right?
Yeah, I was just trying to wake up Sierra. She's got to go to school.
Oh, Sierra, wake up.
He says to wake up.
Yeah, Matthew Fox is really great. David Arquette feels kind of wasted.
Yeah.
He's like not in it, basically.
No, you don't even know really what happens to him.
But anyway, aside from that, and we can just kind of get to the last act.
The main points.
They finally kind of after some problems on the trail.
Yes, they leave Patrick Wilson behind.
Yeah, because he's got a hurt leg. So they leave him behind.
That was another thing that I noticed. They're all too well with just chopping off limbs. They're just like, oh, your leg's broken?
They were very ready to just amputate.
Everything.
I don't know what it was like back in the Old West, but
or when Matthew Fox gets like shot, they're just like, oh, it's gonna come off.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Well, no, wait. When does? What are you talking about?
Oh, or was it when he lost his fingers?
Who?
Matthew Fox.
He gets his hand cut off.
Oh, he gets. Oh, okay.
Yeah. One of the troglodytes, which sounds racist, but it really just means cave dweller. One of the troglodytes like bashes his hand off with a rock.
Yes. Well, that's what they used. Hence the name of the movie. These bone tomahawks that have like razor sharp teeth on them.
Well, no, that was actually done with a rock.
Oh, it was actually
that was
done
not
with a rock.
one of the bone tomahawks. Which I didn't think that there would actually be a bone tomahawk in this movie. It turns out it's a critical thing.
It is a critical plot point in the movie.
So basically, our heroes arrive at their destination, which is like a cave where these scary guys dwell. And they just start getting eviscerated as soon as they arrive.
Yep.
Arrows coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
People getting hit and killed, and
they all get maimed.
They get horribly injured.
Matthew Fox's character obviously gets his hand bludgeoned off.
And he's like, I'm going to stay behind and I'm going to kill them all with dynamite. And that doesn't happen.
He kills one person.
Yeah.
And then he dies.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Kurt Russell and Richard Jenkins go on to take on the rest of the crew, and they just get fucking beat up and knocked out and dragged into a cave to watch.
Yeah, within like a second they get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, they're like on their own for like 2 seconds before they get captured. God, Richard Jenkins is so funny in this movie. He's so adorable. He's the most adorable old man character ever, and I was so scared for him.
Yeah, I was like, oh, don't kill him.
They end up captured, and man, watching that deputy get split in half was like,
oh damn it! Just
God,
I had no idea.
It just kept escalating.
I had no idea that the movie was going to be that graphic.
Yeah.
And just starting off with they got him naked, then they fucking scalped him, and then they flipped him upside down, everybody, and started sawing him in half with said bone tomahawk.
No, they did not saw. They chopped him in two.
That's true.
Lengthwise.
Down the middle.
Starting at the taint.
At the taint. Right at the taint.
Man, the sounds.
Oh my God.
Good God. And the look of horror on Kurt Russell's face as he's like trying to reassure this guy that he's going to be avenged. Oh
and
my God.
they only chopped down about like halfway
before they just pulled the rest.
To say the belly button, and then
they just pulled the rest of the way.
It was like string cheese. They just pulled them apart.
Yeah. So it should be noted that these troglodytes are cannibals.
Yes.
Sierra,
we're recording the podcast. Sure.
Sierra, wake up. Join us for the podcast. Has she seen this?
No, she's just talking about string cheese. I don't know what she's talking about.
Sierra, can I have some string cheese?
Some people do it in half, right? All right.
Is she talking about pulling the deputy in half like a thing of string cheese?
Yeah, she's saying people don't pull string cheese in half. They do it in little bits. And then she just whispered little bits.
I like to just a little bit. I like to just take a bite out of the string cheese. I don't even string it.
You don't even string it?
No.
What the fuck's the matter with you?
I just want to get right to the cheese.
It's all cheese.
It's cheese no matter what you do.
Yeah, no matter what you do. Anyway, so that's the first real. That's when I realized I was like, I'm in for a treat here.
This movie's real. Yeah.
This movie got real quick.
Can I just say also that, as usual, Kurt Russell's hair is magnificent and his mustache is friggin' majestic. That guy's hair situation is fantastic.
So I've been growing out my beard and my mustache, and I can't get it to look that fucking beautiful.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't match Kurt Russell's facial hair, dude. What are you talking about?
I can't just match Kurt Russell.
How did you feel about the throat horns?
That was fucking crazy.
It's eerie and scary. The one yelling when they're in the cave, it's so loud and jarring and terrifying.
Yeah. And it looked like it was metal.
No, they
the one
had
that
these.
He pulled out.
No, it was like a bone thing.
Was it a bone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming it was something taken out of another animal. Do you remember in Jurassic Park 3?
Yeah.
When they had
I know exactly
the little raptor horns. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it made me think of.
Yeah. Except it was
Alan, stop.
in the person's fucking throat.
That's their word.
They surgically implanted these into fucking
God, that's crazy. And like
throats.
They can't talk now. They just make these horrible screeching noises.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Which is fucking terrifying.
Anyway, so now Patrick Wilson wakes up, right?
Yeah. Which you really forget about him.
Yeah. But it turns out he's sort of the hero.
Yeah.
And he's got to hobble his way over there and kind of not die on the way. And now
not to mention he's drugged up from opium.
Kurt Russell and Richard Jenkins have to like kill as many of these guys as they can while they're locked up in order to like make it easier on Patrick Wilson because they know he's coming.
Yes. So
it's a really great climax. Like it's a really fantastic situation that they concoct.
So they have opium with them and a flask. So they like try to get the fucking indigenous people to drink the opium fucking alcohol and get them all fucked up, and it works.
Yeah, and two of them die.
Yeah.
It's all in all very creative. Kind of fast forward a bit to
the Kurt Russell scene.
Patrick Wilson shows up, but Kurt Russell has been removed from the cage as punishment, and one of the tribesmen has kind of figured out how to use the lever action repeater, and it's just the most nerve-wracking, terrifying scene ever because I don't want Kurt Russell to get his dick shot off, dude.
Oh, dude. Just he gets his arm shot, and then as soon as
he's about to shoot his dick off, but then Patrick Wilson comes over.
Well, no, he hasn't learned. Remember, he hasn't learned how to use the lever yet.
He was about to.
No. So
he was gonna shoot his dick off. He was gonna figure out the lever.
He was gonna shoot his dick off, but he pulls the trigger and it goes click, right?
Right, and then he would have figured out the lever and shot his dick off.
Hold on, then
admit it.
No, then what they do. Is he takes the bone tomahawk, cuts open his fucking stomach, and then
that happened first. That's the first thing that I just watched it. That's the first thing that happened. They drag him out and they cut him open and they shove.
Sorry, everybody. I watched this 5 days ago.
Stop being so defensive. This isn't a competition. They slice open his belly, shove his flask in there for some reason. I guess
they stuck the flask in the fire, so the fucking flask was.
I feel like they didn't know that it was hot. They were just like, I'm gonna put this here because I'm mad. So they cut him open, they shove the flask in there, and that sucks for him. And then they shoot his arm, and then he's about to shoot his dick off, but he runs out of ammo or whatever. He has to like pull the lever, but he doesn't know how to use the lever. Patrick Wilson shows up using the horn to distract them and shoot people.
Oh, yes.
And then in the meantime, main guy here figures out how to use the lever and like kind of lays down some really lazy suppressing fire. And Patrick Wilson shows up and shoots the dude in the whatever. Friggin' Kurt Russell gets up, grabs the bone tomahawk, and friggin' hacks this dude's head right off.
Yes, he does.
Hacks his head clean off. And it was the most triumphant fist-pumping moment I've had in a movie lately. I loved it. It was great. It was just friggin' great.
Still kind of bummed that he died, though.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, technically you don't know.
He died.
But he died. Come on.
Yeah, he died.
There's no way you fucking live from that shit.
I was pretty pissed that Patrick Wilson and Richard Jenkins didn't kill those pregnant ladies.
That was super fucked up, though.
That was gross and scary, and I hated it.
So
I would have killed them.
What happened was, this is another one of those racist moments. The male indigenous people have stuck like horns or like long teeth into the pregnant women's or into the women's eyes.
Yeah, blinded them and crippled them.
They cut off all of their limbs.
Yeah, so they're just baby making machines.
Yes, it's very disgusting.
And it's horrible. But they're just like, leave him. And they leave.
Yeah.
Put him out of their fucking misery.
Something.
Good God.
And it kind of looks like Richard Jenkins was thinking about it for a second.
Yeah. Yikes. All in all, though, I highly recommend Bone Tomahawk if you're not turned off by us just spoiling the whole damn thing for you.
Whatever. Fuck you guys. Just kidding. Just kidding, everybody.
Bone Tomahawk is really great.
Yeah, I highly recommend Bone Tomahawk for anybody who can stomach it, at least.
Yeah, definitely. And if you like Kurt Russell, which you should, because he's the best.
If you don't like Kurt Russell, you're dumb.
If you don't like Kurt Russell, then fuck you. I'm sorry. No, stay. No. Where are you going?
Yeah, please stay.
No, don't close the window.
All right, Robbie. Well, I think that was a good episode.
I do too. Do you have to go?
No. Do you have to go? Do you want to just stay and talk for a little bit?
Let's just
hang out.
Let's just stay here a while. All right. Well, yes, that was a good episode. Thanks for listening. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Do all the things that we like. Next week, we're going to be talking about the original Fright Night, which may or may not be available on an online streaming service. We'll find out.
Probably not.
But hey, we look forward to doing that.
Yes.
So, goodbye.